to the Manifest Your Man Masterclass. I'm Yolanda. I'm super excited for you ladies to be here tonight and to share what I basically have reverse engineered in my own process of manifesting my own man that I'm so excited to share with women all around the world this year. I want to say thank you for coming and showing up tonight. I know that your time is valuable, so I promise to really deliver to you and to get you in and out of here in the next hour. And before we get started, I have an opportunity for you to win a free 40-minute one-on-one clarity session or coaching call. If you want to be entered into the opportunity to receive that, I sent you in your email a little story template that you can use that just says I'm in, or this is my year to get everything I desire. And I will pick one of you lucky ladies that has shared it. Make sure you tag me _ Yolanda Russell so I know that you post it. And I will reach out to you tomorrow and we will get you scheduled for a completely free one-on-one session. And with that, you can come with any questions you have, advice you might need, and we will have a great time. And we'll also shift your energy on that call as well. Let's dive into this. Tonight, my promise to you is to teach you the exact 4 steps that I've used to manifest a man. And I want to say this too, when it comes to manifestation, this really is, you can use this in any part of your life, be it money, opportunities that you might want to have, your career, all the things. You can apply this principle to anything that you are trying to call into your life. So before we get started, I want to give you a couple of things just to maybe relax you and your nerves. The first thing that I want to say is that we are not going to be manifesting your toxic ass ex. An ex is an ex for a reason. Let's leave them in the past. This is really all about you leveling up, becoming your next level of your best self. And oftentimes when we're growing, the people that have been with us are not necessarily the people that are meant to stay and continue on that path with us. So we are not calling in toxic exes. Let's just let that be known. And the next thing is manifestation. I believe that a lot of people think of it as woo-woo or hippy dippy stuff, but manifestation is actually science. There really is science behind this. You rewiring your thoughts and your patterns and the beliefs that you have. So what I want to say is that because I call this method the CAST method, that's really just an acronym. So no, we are not doing any manipulative tactics or spells. So just in case you were like, is she going to teach me how to be a witch on here? This has nothing to do with that. And then the next thing is that you don't need to run out and go get all the woo-woo shit to manifest your man. People that do that, I do believe what it does, you get your crystals, and there's nothing wrong with these things. I have crystals sitting all around me too, but you don't have to have those things to manifest. And I believe that sometimes when we buy crystals or we get a journal or we do these kind of things, even attending this class, what it's doing is shifting your energy and putting out your intentions into the universe. So quick introduction about me in case we are maybe newly meeting. I'm Yolanda, 39. I've not been married, although I am manifesting a ring. I believe it's coming soon. I do not have kids outside of my little dog. I used to be a nurse, but my full-time job now is in marketing, and this little side hustle or hobby that I have with helping other women is hopefully soon to turn into a full-time business. It's a big thing for me. I like to say I'm nursing people differently and nursing them into life. For those of you that love astrology and get behind that, I'm a Libra sun, Pisces rising, and a Capricorn moon. If you're into human design, I'm a 1-3 splenic projector. Let me know if I have any projectors in the house. I'm an Enneagram 3. On the Enneagram, any Enneagram 3s, hands up, or give me a little heart if you're also an Enneagram 3. INFP, Myers-Briggs. And then my baby, my passion project is the Date Better podcast, which is available on Apple or Spotify. I drop an episode every week on Monday. So before we dive into this, let's go ahead and get yourself grounded. Feel free to turn your camera off if you feel like it might make you more comfortable not to be seen in this. But I'm going to lead you through a tapping experience. Has anyone tapped before? Tapping is where you actually tap different points of your body, and it is really powerful to help you shift your energy. It can be used whenever you feel super anxious or nervous about anything. And again, I like to use it to just help myself get grounded. So I'm going to kind of show you this, and you can tap whenever you want to. We're going to do this fairly quickly because we don't have a lot of time. But what you essentially do is you start tapping like the karate chop. This is the meridian point. You start tapping on this point. And as you tap, what you do is you give yourself affirmations. If there's something at the top of your mind that you're struggling with, you can tap through it. So you start here and just do that for a few seconds. And people will tap in different, what do I say? Different spots. I like to start with the head, and then I go down and then come back to the head. So we'll tap here at the head, and then we'll move that to the temples. And then we go to the space right underneath of our eyes, not the bony part, but the more fleshy part right underneath there. And then we tap right underneath our nose and in between our lip. And you kind of like tuck your lip. And then you tap underneath here, at your chin. And then the next place that you can tap is at your collarbone. And it's kind of not necessarily the bone, but like that area right underneath. And I always notice when I tap right here, it really tends to help calm me down a lot. And then the next space that we're going to tap is right underneath your armpit, kind of right where your bra strap hits. So moving through that, we're going to tap at our palm. We're going to move to our head. We'll move to the sides of to our temples. And then we'll bring that in underneath our eyes. And then we'll come underneath our nose. And then we'll move to our chin. And then we're going to tap right at our collarbones. And then we'll tap underneath of our armpit right at the bra strap. So now that you've got that, I am going to kind of lead you through a tapping with some affirmations. So let's go ahead and start tapping on our palms. And I just want you to repeat after me, either in your mind or out loud. I am powerful. We'll move to the head. I am abundant. And to your temples, what I desire, I receive. And then underneath the eyes, I am capable of manifesting anything that I want into my life. And then we're going to move under our nose. I am a magnet for everything that I want. And then we're going to move to the chin. I am open to receiving the universe's gifts for me. We're going to tap at the collarbone. Everything that I want, I get. And then under the armpit, I am radiant. And then we'll go back to our palm. I am successful. And then we'll go to our head. There is a man that is waiting for me. To the temple, sorry. I am attracting everything that I want. And then underneath the eyes, what I desire is always making its way to me. And then we're going to go under the nose. I am a powerful manifester. And then we'll go to the chin. I am a magnet. And then to the collarbone. What I want, I receive. And then we'll go to the bra strap area. I am attracting abundance. And let's bring it to the top of the head or to your palm. I am divinely supported. And then, if you can, let's take a deep breath in through our nose and hold it. Breathe out through your mouth. Deep breath in through your nose and hold it and let it out through your mouth. Deep breath in and let it out. How's everyone feeling? Yeah, it's so good when you're overwhelmed. When you feel overwhelmed and being in therapy, 100%. All right, ladies, let's dive in. I really wish I could figure out how to get my chat back over here, but I can't. So, first up, I want to tell you a little story now that we're grounded and you're open to receiving. And you all may know some of my backstory if you followed me for a while, but just in case you're new or we're just connecting and not everyone sees every single social media post. It was October 2nd, which happened to be my 37th birthday, that I was ending a 6-year relationship, which also was an engagement. By November of 2021, I was moving out on my own. And in December of that year, I got on dating apps. And for whatever reason, I was on a plane headed or coming back from Cabo. And I took out my journal, 35,000 feet in the air. And I started writing some things and just visions as I was thinking about the new year and what it was that I was wanting to call into my life. And there were key pillars that I listed out. And there's specifically money and relationship were the two that I went in on. And I wrote, for whatever reason, I'm not ready for a relationship, but I do feel that clarity is important, or clarity around what I want is necessary. And I just wrote a list of 16 features and attributes of my next partner. Close the journal, didn't think about it. And then from January 2022 to April of 2023, I was a serial dater. I was totally single, never had any man ask me to be exclusive with them. I was casually sleeping around, which I know always kind of sounds really weird, but I went through my quote hoe phase. It had been 6 years and testing the waters, like, ooh, what's out here? It had been a long time since I felt so free. And I had a few longer situationships, one of which was probably like a 9 month. I called him my bed buddy because that's literally all we were. We never went out on a date. And it's really funny how toxic I used to be compared to where I am now and what's helped me get to this point. I would go on dates with other people and be in the bathroom texting him, pretty much arranging our hookup. So I was always open to receiving anything, but he was always just the bed buddy for a long time. So there's no shame in my game. And I like to just be open and transparent that I have not been perfect. I do not claim to be perfect, and it all is a journey. So I like to share that, and hopefully it lands, or maybe you're like, whoa, this woman's crazy. And then at the end of December 2022, I matched with this man on Hinge. We exchanged numbers, chat for a little bit, and I go off and think nothing of it. And then the first week of December, I was traveling to Scottsdale from Austin. The man from Hinge sees me at baggage claim in Arizona, but does not text me. I don't see him, and does not make his way over to me, just points me out to his friends like, oh, I think I matched with that girl on an app. Weeks go by. He never mentions the fact that he had seen me at the airport. One of the things about manifestation and when things start coming into our lives is oftentimes the universe is having your paths cross in a way, just waiting for things to be in alignment. And that's really important when it comes to manifestation. I can't promise you that you're going to walk out of this class and like, boom, here comes your man. But what I can promise you is that when you have the steps to manifest, and these are very simple, what it will help you do is understand and start to see and be more hopeful and mindful that the universe is always working out for you. So again, we were crossing paths, had crossed paths now on Hinge and then in this airport randomly. And then he tells me on New Year's Eve, "Hey, I hope that you have a great New Year's Eve. We should hang out soon." We talked for a little bit, but never made plans. And when I go back in my messages, our first text messages, he was asking me to hang out, and I was just avoiding it. I was completely like, okay, whatever. Wasn't like he was, ooh, top of the list or anything like that. So we never make plans. Our conversation dies off January 4th of 2023. And then I'm in my full single girl era, just doing my thing, doing me. And on April 15th, and this date's so specific for timelines that I want to give you, but April 15th, I go for a first date. And this man was supposed to be like heavily tatted. And so I would have noticed him at the bar for sure. And this first date was not my boyfriend. But on this first date, I was stood up for the very first time after going on hundreds of dates. And I remember walking in being like, okay, I don't see this heavily tattooed guy. Like, clearly he stood me up. So I send this dude a text message. I'm like, wow, I've never been stood up before. Good luck, or something to that extent. And my friends were already downtown. This picture of me is literally of that night. And as I'm getting in an Uber to go meet my friends, I get a text message from the Hinge man. And he tells me that he's going to be out and about and that we should meet up. And I'm like, okay, whatever. We were going to end up probably being at the same place. So really it was, oh, I hope you guys can hear me. I don't have my microphone in front of me. Sorry about that. But we end up being at the same, we were going to end up being at the same place at some point of the night. So I go out with my friends. We have a freaking time. And at 1 o'clock, I convinced my really good gay friend, Colby. We went to the gay bars that night. I go, Colby, I think that we should go meet this dude. I don't know. What do I have to lose? So Colby comes with me to the bar, drops me off essentially once we made sure that he wasn't an axe murderer, and kind of the rest is history. So after that night, technically it was Sunday at that point, he said, "Oh, well, I really would like to hang out with you again and take you on a proper first date." So he follows through. We go on this proper first date, have a great time, really just connected. Our conversation wasn't anything that I remember being like mind blowing or anything, but I remember it feeling different. And a lot of people will get caught up in chemistry and things like that, but I felt that we were just very compatible. And what I found out that first night that we ever hung out was that his birthday was one day the day after mine. So totally crazy. And I used to share my dating journeys on my close friends with my friends. And I came home that evening on that first date. And for whatever reason, I had never said this. I had a bunch of leftovers, and I was always kind of the type where I don't really eat when I'm at the restaurant, but I'll take my leftovers and come home and like eat like a hawk, you know? And so when I was on the floor, kind of very tipsily having my leftovers that night, I came home and I said, I don't know, you guys. I feel like I'm going to have a boyfriend in 2.5 weeks. And then after that first date, he didn't text me for 3 days. And when he was trying to match up and meet again, I had already had plans, but he ended up meeting me and one of my girlfriends out at the bar that Friday night. So from the time that I said, in 2.5 weeks, I feel like I'm going to have a boyfriend, 19 days later was this man asking me to be his girlfriend and to be exclusive and to get off the apps. And I know that that can feel like very quick for some people, but when you put yourself into experience the way that I had, and I had gone on so many dates, I just understood that this felt so different. So securing the bag, I call it, AKA getting the man. We ended up just hanging out, having a lot of dates. He always planned all the dates, loved planning dates. He took me shooting, which was really fun. We went to like a Seal concert very randomly. And then mid-May, his mom actually invited me to go to dinner with them because he had talked to his mom already about me. And she was like, "Oh, she's so pretty," because he had showed her photos of me. And then in June, my mom comes to Austin. He meets my mom. And in August, he buys a new home, sells the old house, and kind of just opens it up and says, "Hey, I'm really committed to this. I know what it is that I'm looking for, and that is you. And I would like you to move in with me." And at the time, I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're so crazy." But I see a spiritual advisor, aka my witch, that you might hear me talking about on social media, and she had actually called the fact that I was going to be moving in with this man back in April, and we had just literally met. So really kind of crazy. We've gone on some mini trips together, and this December I officially moved in after my lease was up. So it's kind of this fun new chapter. So essentially, when I look back that day in Cabo, coming home from Cabo, I had listed out 16 different things that I wanted in a man. And the more that I got to know my boyfriend, the more that I was like, wait a minute, this is so weird. I feel like I wrote about this years ago. And here he was nearly 2 years later. So let's dive into how you can have your own manifestation story. What I want you to know, and something that I had to learn too about manifestation, is that it's not about the thing that we want. So oftentimes we're like, oh, we want a man, we want a man. But the reality of it is, it's less about the thing, in this case being a man, and more about you becoming and operating as the woman that attracts the man that you desire. So you almost have to play with your mind and your body chemistry when it comes to manifestation. And what I want you to know is that if there is a man or a partner that you desire, the universe or God or spirit or whatever you call it, but I don't believe that it puts any desire within us that it does not believe that we can achieve. So I want you to know, if you've been dating a bunch of dirt bags and dating has been really hard, but you're still holding faith and hope that your person is out there, I want you to trust that they are out there, because manifestation is energetic and magnetic. So we have to become the match for what it is that we desire. And I'm going to show you exactly how to become that match with these steps. I also want you to really hold on to this and understand that the universe is always working on overdrive to bring you that thing that you want. Because again, it would not be placed on you. You would not be able to think about it or dream about it if it were not for you. The universe is always working for you and with you and never against you, though sometimes it might feel that it's punishing you or testing you. And really, that's, in my personal opinion, the way that things work, saying, is this the thing that you truly want? Have you changed? Are you really ready to break this pattern? And I do believe that with my boyfriend and I, with us, like, how random is it that we would be in a completely different city and he would see me at the airport? I really believe that it was not our time to meet. It was not his time to reach out and say, "Oh, hey, I saw you in the airport." It was our time, April 16th of this year. So I just want you to hold on to that. And we have to become the active participant in our manifestations. And again, I'm going to help guide you through all that as well. And then to an extent, most of what we have in our lives right now, you've manifested at some point based off of your energy and your vibration. So I'm essentially going to help you shift using the CAST method, which CAST stands for clarity, alignment, surrender, and trust. We're going to break all these down. So clarity, how clear are you about the man that you desire? And I tell the story because it lines you up for, oh, yeah, that was exactly what she was doing. I got very clear about what I wanted. And it went beyond physical attributes. The only physical attribute that I wrote down was, I prefer for them to be tattooed, and my boyfriend is tattooed, and I wanted them to be tall. I'm 4'9". Everyone's tall to me. So my boyfriend's 5'9", which is the perfect height. So that manifest your man workbook, I have reverse engineered when I look at my boyfriend because he's literally exactly what I wanted, that I still could have had a bit more clarity. So use those 21 questions when you're in a meditative state or you just are in a feel good state where you can allow yourself to dream and really start thinking about what it is that you want. And a lot of people will say that they don't know how to show up in the feeling of, okay, as if they already have the man. And part of that is because we need some help just getting it clear on it. When you can get crystal clear, then it's like, okay, cool. And I'm trusting that this person's out there, everything will shift. So the more clear that you can get, the better off that you are. And when you have a desire which is kind of murky or cloudy, what you'll receive will be a little murky. So meaning that if you're a little bit unsure or you're not very clear, the universe is going to say, okay, well, here's what you're asking for. And then sometimes what we have to do with those lists is go back and fine tune it, because you might ask for a man that's very successful that makes 6 to 7 figures, but he has no time to spend with you and plan dates and do really nice things. So then you have to go back to that list and say, okay, great. I want the man that makes 6 to 7 figures and then also has time, plans dates, and does these things. So just understand that sometimes you have to go back to the drawing board. But what you'll see when you start understanding the powerful of just how powerful you are and working with the universe, that you'll get the keys and things will start to show up and things will just start to pop off. So a common mistake that is made, again, when we're thinking about being clear, is not focusing on the right things. A lot of people will focus on physical attributes when we need to think about, how does this person communicate in a conflict? How do they communicate in general? What are the core values that they have in their lives? What goals do they have? What are their thoughts on traveling and finances, children, all these big things? So when you use that workbook, it should help you get more and more clear all the time with your manifestation. The next part of manifesting is getting in alignment. How aligned are you currently feeling in manifesting your man? If we are thinking the dating scene sucks, all men are trash, but we are wanting to manifest a man, those two things don't go together. Okay. So manifestation is going to require that you become aligned energetically for you to become the vibe for what you desire. If you are manifesting or trying to call in from a frantic, low energy, that's what you're going to attract into your life. Okay. And you just have to understand that. I know sometimes it can be hard to be like, well, yeah, all men aren't shit, but I still want this man. But again, the thoughts that we have become our beliefs, and that will impact how we show up into the world. So, what I want you to think about when it comes to alignment is, how does your higher self that has exactly everything that you want, how does she walk? How does she talk? How does she dress? How does she eat? And then how does she deal when things are amazing and then when things aren't so amazing? So if we go back to my story, the alignment piece of that is, I got stood up on a first date and I, for a second, let my energy drop. But I said, you know what? I am too cute. I have on a new outfit. I curled my hair. I'm going to go out. So vibrationally, I didn't let this man win and take over my energy on him standing me up, right? It was, I'm going to go out, I'm going to have a good time, I'm going to shine. And then for whatever reason, as soon as I was opening a door to get in an Uber, I'm getting this random text message from my boyfriend, current boyfriend, who I hadn't spoken to since January. And this is April. It had been months. So when you're dating, it comes really important to looking at your current thoughts and your beliefs and what boundaries and standards do you have. I told you very openly in the beginning of this call, I was casually sleeping around with men in situationships. My boundaries sucked. My standards sucked. And all of that, as I was going through it and starting to understand and reflect and get real truthful with myself, I was out of alignment with what it is that I wanted. So a common mistake here is that we're manifesting from the wrong, I don't want to say wrong, but a lower energetic state, and we're acting out of alignment with our higher self. And sometimes this takes us having very tough conversations with ourselves. This might look like going to therapy and really starting to address some things head on. Or if you've gone to therapy, hiring a coach to work with to help you identify your blind spots. And I was talking to somebody earlier today, and she goes, I went to the store and all I was seeing was Valentine's Day stuff, and it made me really sad. And my reframe for her getting into alignment, being the woman that understands and knows that the universe is working for her, I'm like, okay, cool. Why don't you go buy yourself a Valentine's Day card and write a note to your higher self? And she was like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much." Like, it's just these simple little reframes that we can make that really will help us shift our energy. And when you learn this, it's so powerful. So I've got a list of alignment suggestions for you. Don't feel like you have to copy all this. I'll write them down. I'm going to go through this fairly quickly, but meditation, tapping that we did, conscious consumption. And what I mean by conscious consumption is, what are you feeding yourself? What are your thoughts? What kind of people are you around? What are you looking at on social media? What kind of music are you listening to? All these things. Very rarely do I listen to, I am not up to date with music at all, because most of the time what I'm listening to is subconscious affirmations when I don't feel so sure of myself. And that is what actually gets me hyped up and motivated. So really being mindful about what you're consuming. We are women. I think probably most of us identify as such, but Mother Nature, go out and connect with that strong, powerful energy. If you have an opportunity and you don't live somewhere where it's probably snowing, or even if it is, going outside barefoot and being able to ground yourself with the earth is so powerful. When I'm outside is where I have my best ideas. I have my best reflections. So I really do encourage you, especially if you work from home, set space on your calendar to go have a daily walk with yourself. If you have a dog, this usually is very easy, but making sure that you are taking time to be out with the Mother Nature. Next up, plant medicine ceremonies. I won't really get into this, but those have been very powerful and healing tools for me. Creating sacred rituals and routines for yourself and sticking to them. Journaling, writing. How can you become more curious with yourself all the time? So the other day, for example, I was writing all these things down. I'm like, this is great, this is great, this is great, but I really don't feel happy in this one space of my life. And then as I continue writing, it's like, well, why do you want this thing? And what I came to was, it's not the thing that I wanted. It is the feeling. It is how I'm going to feel to have this thing. So now what do I have to do? Show up in the world and show up in my life as if I already have that thing. So again, these tips that I'm giving you will work beyond just calling in a man. The next thing, you can hire a coach. This is something I do and which I love doing. It's so powerful to see people shift. You can tap into the things that bring you absolute joy, because when we do more of things that we love, we're not sitting in our sad girl energy. We're in a happy, vibrant, I'm manifesting all the shit that I want in my life energy. Another suggestion is take your ass to the gym. Movement is so powerful in releasing stuck and stagnant energy. If you don't necessarily like going to the gym, just dancing, doing things that actively get your body in motion. The next thing, listening to your intuition, that little nag that tells you certain things like that man's not the one, or wait a minute, this feels really different. Making sure that you're nourishing your body and your mind. Again, what are you putting into your body? What are you eating? What are you drinking? Are we needing to slow down in the wine nights? These kind of things that all have the power to impact your energy. The next thing is to plug your energy leaks. I know for me, social media is a huge energy leak. How many times are we just sitting here doing this? And maybe if you're on dating apps, how often are we just sitting here doing that? Plug those energy leaks and start thinking about where you spending dead space that's not really high value time in yourself, and plug those holes. Next thing, and we kind of talked about this at the beginning of the call, is dressing up. Now, I will tell you, I work from home. Do I dress up every day? Absolutely freaking not. Did I look like a bum right before I got on this call? Absolutely. But am I showing up that way? No. Because when we put ourselves together, oftentimes, if you've curled your hair, you've done your makeup, even if it's a sad girl day, you probably feel a little bit better. So, you don't have to get dressed up every day, but just making an effort every so often is really important. Evaluating your inner circles. Do you have any leeches or energy sucking friends that maybe you need to distance yourself from? That's very important. And confronting your current beliefs that may be holding you back. So, one thing that I would mention to you that you can do after we get off this call, or as you're during this week thinking about all this information, is writing a list of what do you currently believe about dating? What do you currently believe about maybe the man that you're seeing or the men that you're seeing? What are your beliefs? And if they're beliefs that maybe aren't serving you, rewrite them. So I'll give you this. Well, I'm going to use money as an example. I always grew up where money was hard to come by and money doesn't grow on trees. So if that is the belief that I hold, I have to start challenging that and rewriting it. And so certain things for me is money comes to me easily. I am a money magnet. Same thing if you're thinking that the belief is you're 35 and you're too late to find and have the partnership that you want, oh, no. That new belief has to become I am at the right age to get the thing that I want, to have that partnership that I desire. And then lastly, really showing up in the world as the woman that already has the man that you desire. Again, if we want partnership and connection in these things, if you already had that, how would you act? How would you feel? How would you walk your dog knowing that you're going to come home and close the door and the love of your life is going to be there? We have to show up in that energy already before we feel ready. And I say, if you listen to TikTok, all the Gen Zs are always like, Delulu, Delulu. But people that are a little bit delusional win. And we can look at this with business owners, people like Grant Cardone. I don't know if you all are familiar with him, but he's like huge in real estate. He's probably definitely a multi millionaire. I don't know if he's a billionaire, but he's delusional and it works. And he gets the things that he wants because he's shifting those beliefs. What you think about, what you tell yourself becomes your thought. So, and again, this also is the delusion is sometimes why we will see people getting everything that they want. Right. And sometimes that can make us a little bit envious, like, ugh, must just be so easy for her to do. And it's no. At some point, she had to be a little delusional to believe that that thing that she wanted could come to her. Next step in the cast method is to surrender. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you enjoy being in control over things? I want you to think about, are you a control freak? Because I, on that level, am about an 8.5, and I'm getting a little bit better. But I like to be in control over things. It is why I have operated the way that I've operated, but I've had to challenge that because we really aren't in control over timing at all, right? So when we are manifesting, what we have to do is release control, to release attachment to how and when things are going to come. I tell you the story about December 13th, 2021, because I didn't really know to call that what I was doing manifesting at that time, even, but I wrote it down. I just said, okay, I'm not ready for this, but when I am, cool, this is what I want. And so I moved about in my dating life in a way where it's like, I've written this list. I don't know. It's going to show up whenever it would show up. And I would have guys that they're kind of it, but like not it. Okay, cool. No big deal. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep really believing that something is out there for me. So, in order to surrender, I give my clients this mantra or something you might have heard me say, which is keeping your vibes high and your fucks low, AKA keeping your energy and your alignment high and your fucks low, releasing attachment and how and when things come to you. So, with clarity and alignment, we vibe high. when we surrender, you set your fucks to low, detaching completely from an outcome. And so again, when we talk about the energy and being the energy to attract what we want, we've really got to learn how to maintain our energy. And we are all going to have our moments. Have your sad girl moments, have your down days. That's going to happen. But it's how you respond to those days over time that's going to be the game changer for you manifesting whatever it is that you want in your life. So a common mistake here is that people get far too attached to the logistics or the outcome. And I'll have women say things like, oh, I really want this in a man, yada, yada. They'll get on a dating app, they'll find it, but then they start judging themselves for how they met this man. That's never going to work. That just does not work. And the last and final step of the cast method is to trust. So the question I would ask you here is, how much do you trust in the universe to deliver the man that you desire? And once you release your desire out into the world, you use the workbook with the 21 questions, you get super clear and you decide, okay, I got clarity. You're going to implement and practice some alignment techniques. You're going to surrender to when it comes, and then you're going to trust. And when you do that, then the universe says, okay, bet girl, I got you. Let's freaking go. We have to work with the universe and not against it. So we're trusting in divine timing. We're trusting that there's always a plan for you. And we're trusting that there's always something good working for your highest self. It's either this what you're dealing with right now, or there's always something better waiting for you. And then again, I want to come back to this point of, if it's placed on your heart for whatever reason, you can have it. You get to have it. Give yourself that permission. It gets to be yours. And then last but not least, that trust that the universe hears all of our desires, whether they are positive desires or negative ones. So for me, one of the big things I'm working to manifest right now is my relationship with money and finances. And so I can't say I don't want debt. It has to be the opposite of that. It has to be positive, because when I say I don't want this thing, that's what I'm focusing on. We got to focus on different things that are going to help bring what we want towards us. So that is it. This are 4 steps to manifesting your man. We rocked through that in about 50 minutes or so with some technical difficulties. But while we're here, I do want to remind you that if you open that email that I sent you, or you use the folder that's here, there's an opportunity for you to get a free one-on-one with me. All you have to do is share to your story. You can use that template that I already made, but if this was powerful and spoke to you in any way, just tag me on your stories and let people know that you were here and that it was impactful for you. And I'll pick one of you guys to sit and have a one-on-one call with. And then I have some upcoming opportunities I'm really excited about, and I have not said this to anyone yet. So I feel really excited that the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you that are here are going to hear this first. Something that I am manifesting is a community of women coming together. And I know that it's going to be so powerful. And when I think about that, what does it look like? And what's the purpose? And what's the point? And while we can talk about how important it is and we can want these men in our lives, I also understand that a lot of us are missing women, and powerful women and strong women. And a big goal that I actually have, the book club is what's coming. That's what's in the right now that we're going to have. But in the near future, I really do see this becoming a membership of sorts, where once you have manifested your man, that we can continue to work together, grow together, laugh together, cry together. And so I'm really excited. And I don't know what that is going to look like. I just know that the book club is going to be the start of something so big, so magical, an opportunity for people to come and network and share. And I'm really freaking pumped about that, because that's what's been on my heart for a really long time, is my mission, my message, women up leveling to become their best selves, and really being able to do that on a really big, impactful scale. So that's a little manifestation that I'm going to throw out and share with you all. But I would really love to invite you into the Date Better book club. So that is going to be 3 months from February, March, and April. I'm going to decide on this, but it'd either be 2 books or 3 books, just depends on how uh, big the books are, how quickly people read. But there's going to be a group chat that comes along with that. It will be off of social media. And then once each month, I will have a live session where we'll review the books, and then we'll do Q&A, open coaching, hot seats, things like that. So again, for me, it's all about really starting to build this connection, because I promise you that if you're 38, 39, 40, 50, 60, that at a minimum, having a strong and powerful community of people on a similar journey will change your life, because that's changed my life in such a big way. And then lastly, there's always the opportunity to book a one-on-one call with me. So I will drop the links if you want to check out the book club. That is also over on Instagram. If you have questions, let me know. It's $99 for all 3 months. And I'm excited. And I hope that you guys are too. And I hope that you will think about joining. If you have any questions, let me know. But that is it, ladies. We did it. Welcome to Manifesting Your Man. Anybody have any questions or thoughts that they like to share? If you got any value out of this, again, I would love for you to share on your social media, or just slide into my DM with a little what this gave to you, what you're excited for. And I love connecting with you guys. It is legitimately one of my favorite things to do. I'm always trying to send voice messages. So if you're in my DMs, just know that I will always get back to you. Yes, good vibes all around. And I just, again, if I can leave you with one thing, because I've pivoted out of so many things in my own life, right? My career as a nurse, I thought I was going to be a nurse for forever. My relationship that was 6 years. And my message is that if it's on your heart, you get to have it. That is your birthright, to have what you want. And maybe it might feel a little hard to get there, but that's part of it, you know, being in the game. So I love you all so much. Thank you for taking the time to hang out with me on a Sunday night. And I will see you guys around on the social media.